Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and your glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Next order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
May I call upon Honorable Dominic Ndambuki to proceed and lay the paper.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to Standing Order number 190, Suborder 5, I beg to lay the following paper on the floor of the House today, Tuesday, 14th March 2023, which is a report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024.
Thank you, Honorable Member. May I call upon Honorable Vincent Mutie, Chairperson, Health and Emergency Services Committee, to proceed and lay the paper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Vincent Mutie, the elected member for Upper Kiowa Ward. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, the 14th day of March 2023. The report of the Health and Emergency Services Committee on status of Machakos Level 5 Hospital.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
May I call upon Honorable Dominic Ndambuki to come forward and give the notice.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the County Fiscal Strategy Paper, also known as CFSP, is a policy document that outlines the county government's fiscal strategy and priorities for a given financial year and serves as a guide for the county government's budget. Aware that pursuant to Section 117, subsection 1 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, the county is mandated to prepare and forward the fiscal strategy paper to the County Executive Committee for approval and subsequently submit the approved CFSP to County Assembly on 28th February of each year. Further, aware that Section 117, subsection 6 of PFM Act states that not later than 14 days after submitting the CFSP to the County Assembly, the County Assembly shall consider and may adopt it with or without amendments. Appreciating that the County Assembly conducted departmental committees interrogations on 6th and 7th March 2023 and held public participation forums on 8th March 2023 in all 8, Madam Speaker, I beg to make some correction, on 9 sub-counties. Honorable Speaker, informed that the Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee retreated to Nairobi for further discussions with the County Executive Member for Finance, Economic Planning and Revenue Management, and to compile a report of the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. May I call upon Honorable Vincent Motier, Chairperson, Health and Emergency Services Committee, to come forward and give the notice of motion.
Once again, thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 43A of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which stipulates that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to health care services, including reproductive health care. Honorable Speaker, aware that Article 185.3 states that the County Assembly, while respecting the principle of separation of powers, may exercise oversight over the County Executive Committee and any other county executive organs. Honorable Speaker, cognizant of the fact that Health and Emergency Services is established under Second Schedule Standing Order 190 and is mandated to deal with all matters related to health services, firefighting, and disaster management, aware that the committee conducted site visits to ascertain the status of Machakos Level 5 Hospital, held a meeting with the hospital management, and compiled a report. I beg to give a notice of the motion that this Honorable House discusses and approves the Health and Emergency Services report on the status of Machakos Level 5 Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. At this point, I invite Honorable Nicholas Nzioka to give notice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm not Nicholas Nzioka, I'm Jackson Ndaka, representing the people of Tala. Honorable Speaker, that's aware that pursuant to Standing Order number 152, Sub-Order 2, the Committee on Selection is mandated to nominate all substitute members to serve in the committee, save for the membership of the House Business Committee and the Committee on Appointment. Further aware that the Standing Order number 155, Sub-Order 3, provide that members shall not be members of committee of the House unless the nomination of such a member into the committee is approved by the House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the motion that further to the resolution of the House of Tuesday, October 4th, 2022 and Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, appointing members into various committee and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 153, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committee as specific here under: A, Agriculture Committee, Honorable Rosina Kanini to replace Honorable Raphael Lakinzao. B, Tourism and Culture Committee, Honorable Joseph Mulinge to replace Honorable Evelyn Zeki. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order, Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Changes to the membership of various committees.
May I call upon Honorable Stephen Mwandi to come forward and move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Stephen Mwandi, representing the great people of Ekalakala, Katini Ward. Honorable Speaker, that aware that pursuant to Standing Order 152, Sub-Order 2, the Committee on Selection is mandated to nominate all substitute members to serve in committees, save for the membership of the House Business Committee and Committee on Appointments. Further aware that Standing Order 155, Sub-Order 3, provides that a member shall not be a member of a committee of the House unless the nomination of such member into the committee is approved by the House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the motion that further to resolutions of the House of Tuesday, October 4th, 2022 and Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, appointing members into various committees and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 153, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committees as specified hereunder. C, Agriculture Committee, Honorable Rosina Kanini to replace Honorable Raphael Lakinzao. And D, Tourism and Culture Committee, Honorable Joseph Mulinga to replace Honorable Evelyn Zeki. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I request that you call your seconder.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And before I call the seconder, I'll give a brief over the issue. Honorable Speaker, the two honorable members who are being replaced and are whips of the majority and the minority parties. Standing under 151 sub-order 3 requires the assembly parties in nominating the members to the House Business Committee to include its whips into the membership. It is for this reason that while nominating members of the House Business Committee for the second session, that the whips were included. To effect this, some two members who had been nominated to the House Business Committee during the first session had to be dropped. Honorable Speaker, in the spirit of fairness, and the two whips wrote to the Assembly relinquishing membership in the two mentioned committees. The Committee on Selection met to exercise its mandate and as stated in Standing Order 152 and considered the resignations and the need to have members distributed in committees fairly. Consequently, Honorable Speaker, the committee anonymously agreed to nominate Honorable Rosina Kani to replace Honorable Raphael Lakinzao in Agriculture Committee and Honorable Joseph Mulinga to replace Honorable Evelyn Zeki in Culture and Tourism Committee. Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank the two whip for their magnanimity and generosity to ensure that the Assembly was in harmony and all members were fairly treated. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And so I call upon Honorable Felix Goi to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Felix Goi, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am a member of the Select Committee, Committee on Selection, and I stand to second the replacement of those members to the said committees. And in this regard, I would wish to thank the minority whip and the majority whip for showing maturity and being fair enough to make sure that this House works in harmony on matters committees. So thank you so much, and I second.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now propose the question that further to the resolutions of the House of Tuesday, October 4th, 2022, and Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, appointing members into various committees and pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 153, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committees as specified hereunder. A, Agriculture Committee, Honorable Rosina Kanini to replace Honorable Raphael Lakinzao, and B, Tourism and Culture Committee, Honorable Joseph Mulinge to replace Honorable Evelyn Zeki. I now invite members to debate this motion. Honorable Mulinge, proceed.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the leadership of the minority side because when the issue came on, before they replaced my name, because I'm Honorable Mulinge, we had a discussion regarding the matter, and I accepted. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question that further to the resolutions of the House of Tuesday, October 4th, 2022, and Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, appointing members into various committees and pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 153, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committees as specified hereunder. A, Agriculture Committee, Honorable Rosina Kanini to replace Honorable Rafael Lakinzao, and B, Tourism and Culture Committee, Honorable Joseph Mulinge to replace Honorable Evelyn Zeki. As many are of the opinion, say aye. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes are. Next order, clerk.
Order number 9, motion, approval of the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024.
May I invite Honorable Dominic Ndambuki to proceed and move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the County Fiscal Strategy Paper is a policy document that outlines the county government's fiscal strategy and priorities for a given financial year and serves as a guide for the county government's budget. Aware that pursuant to Section 117, subsection 1 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, the county is mandated to prepare and forward the fiscal strategy paper to the County Executive Committee for approval and subsequently submit the approved CFSP to County Assembly by 28th February of each year. Further, aware that Section 117, subsection 6 of PFM Act states that not later than 14 days after submitting the CFSP to the County Assembly, the County Assembly shall consider and may adopt it with or without amendments. Appreciating that the County Assembly conducted departmental committees interrogations on 6th and 7th March 2023 and held public participations forums on 8th March 2023 in all 9 sub-counties. Honorable Speaker, informed that the Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee retreated to Nairobi for further discussions with the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Economic Planning and Revenue Management, and to compile a report of the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee or the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. I call upon Honorable Justice Mutuku to second.
Honorable Justice Mutuku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am Justice Mulwa Mutuku, representing the great people of Wamunyu. And Madam Speaker, I support the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now propose the question that the House discusses and approves the report of Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. I now call upon Honorable Dominic Ndambuki to come forward, highlight the report, and call a mover. Proceed and highlight. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And if you allow, I'm going to take members through the abridged version of the report. The main report that is elaborate has been shared with the members, and it is available for public scrutiny. The short version is with the members as well, Honorable Speaker. I'm going to read it. Honorable Speaker, the County Fiscal Strategy Paper is a policy document that outlines the county government's fiscal strategy and priorities for a given financial year and serves as a guide for the county government's budget. The Fiscal Strategy Paper is an important document as it sets the overall policy framework for resource allocation and informs budgetary ceilings every fiscal year. It derives its legal basis from Section 117 of PFM Act of 2012 and its corresponding regulations. Honorable Speaker, Regulation 37, Suborder 1 of the PFM regulations of 2015 stipulates that where a county assembly approves any changes in the annual estimates of the budget under Section 131 of the PFM Act of 2012, any increase or reduction in expenditure of a vote shall not exceed 1% of the vote ceilings. Section 117 of PFM Act of 2012 requires the county treasury to submit the CFSP by 28th February of each current year, and the county assembly to approve with or without amendments within 14 days. In the fiscal year 2023-2024, CFSP was submitted on 28th February 2023, and it shows a resource envelope of 12,448,697,379 Kenya shillings and an equivalent expenditure. The resource envelope consists of equitable share amounting to 9,536,696,160 Kenya shillings. Conditional grants amounting to 431,009,004 Kenya shillings. On source revenue amounting to 2,080,992,215 Kenya shillings. NHIF reimbursements of 300 million Kenya shillings. And asset disposal income of 100 million Kenya shillings. The proposed and recommended expenditure ceilings are as follows. Honorable Speaker, there is a table that shows the code for each department on both recurrent and development expenditures, and we have the departmental name, the proposed ceilings by Treasury, and what the committee recommends. Under the Office of the Governor, proposed ceilings by Treasury are 592,144,648 Kenya shillings. What the committee recommends is 592,144,648. Trade, Industry, Tourism and Innovation. Proposals by Treasury 199,759,271 Kenya shillings. Committee's approval 155,759,271 Kenya shillings. Finance, Economic Planning and Revenue Management. Proposals by the Treasury 579,914,840 Kenya shillings. Committee recommendations 527,414,570 Kenya shillings. Devolution. Treasury proposes 782,756,444 Kenya shillings. Committee recommendations 767,869,215 Kenya shillings. Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development. Proposals by the Treasury 362,710,808 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations 347,710,808 Kenya shillings. Health. Recommendations by Treasury 4,062,841,431 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations 4,062,841,431 Kenya shillings. Roads, Transport and Public Works. Proposals by Treasury 208,036,258 Kenya shillings. Committee's approval 198,036,258 Kenya shillings. Education. Proposals by the Treasury 478,946,371 Kenya shillings. Recommendations or approvals by the committee 606,946,371 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, that amount will include bursary allocations of 5.2 million per ward. Lands, Urban Development, Housing and Energy. Proposals by the Treasury 259,182,271 Kenya shillings. Proposals by the committee 200,182,271 Kenya shillings. Gender, youth sports and social welfare. Proposals by the Treasury, 122,739,769 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 122,739,769 Kenya shillings. Water, irrigation, environment and climate change. Proposals by the Treasury, 118,688,120 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 103,688,120 Kenya shillings. County Public Service Board. Proposals by the Treasury, 52,957,655 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 38,013,709 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting that County Public Service Board has ceilings regulated by CRA and are given at 38 million. County Assembly, proposals by the Treasury, 865,126,181 Kenya shillings. Proposals by the committee, 987,126,181 Kenya shillings. County Attorney, proposals by the Treasury, 28,284,098 Kenya shillings. Committee's proposals, 3,615,543 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the discrepancy is brought about by the fact that county attorneys' ceilings are under the office of the governor. We look at the development ceilings. Office of the Governor. Proposals by the Treasury, 12,243,690 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 12,243,690 Kenya shillings. Trade, industry, tourism, and innovation. Proposals by the Treasury, 290,966,097 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 285,966,097 Kenya shillings. Part of that money, Honorable Speaker, we have 200 million Kenya shillings, which is a requirement, which is a donor money, a matching fund, a shilling for a shilling, as required by the national government, so that they can give us money for industrial park. Finance, economic planning, and revenue management. Proposals by the Treasury, 118,058,330 Kenya shillings, sorry. Committee's recommendations, 70,058,330 Kenya shillings. Devolution. Proposals by the Treasury, 66,934,618 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 66,934,618 Kenya shillings. Agriculture, food security, and cooperative development. Proposals by the Treasury, 490,154,063 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 340,154,063 Kenya shillings. Part of that money, Honorable Speaker, we have donor fund of 292 million. Health. Proposal by the Treasury, 610,828,156 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendation, 740 million. Part of that money, we have about 5 million, which is donor fund. Roads, transport, and public works. Proposals by the Treasury, 644,490,070 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendation, 666 million Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, in giving that figure, the committee considered that we have the ward grading program that is currently ongoing, and we also want to grade and grade maram some roads and also tarmac other roads. Education. Proposals by the Treasury. 175,729,112 Kenya shillings. Recommendations by the committee. 130,729,112 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, in arriving at that figure, the committee considered construction of ECDE centers 2 per ward, and also gave some money for construction of vocational training institutes. Lands, urban development, housing, and energy. Proposal by the Treasury, 220,755,550 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 175,755,550 Kenya shillings. Gender, youth, sports, and social welfare. Proposals by the Treasury, 213,880,747 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 106,655,003 Kenya shillings. Water, irrigation, environment, and climate change. Proposals by the Treasury, 568,456,030 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 818 million Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, that money is to cater for drilling of boreholes, erection of weirs, water pans, and sand dams. County Public Service Board. Proposals by the Treasury, 20,112,751 Kenya shillings. Committee's recommendations, 20,112,751 Kenya shillings. County Assembly. Proposals by the Treasury, 292 million. Committee's recommendations, 292 million. County Attorney. Proposals by the Treasury, 10 million. Committee's recommendations, 10 million Kenya shillings. Total on recurrent, 8,714,088,165 Kenya shillings. Totals on development, 3,734,609,214 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee made following observations. 1, that a rearrangement of programs has put environment and natural resources under climate change program. 2, some departments did not adhere to CRA recommendations on sealing. 3, during the reorganization of the current government, some sectors were moved to different departments from where they were in the previous budgets. For instance, emergency services from health department to decentralized units. 4, that the personnel emolument is at 51% of the total revenue against a set limit of 35% as given by the PFM Act. 5, during sectoral interrogations, a number of departments presented a list of pending bills to be considered for budgetary allocation. 6, that the fiscal year 2022-2023 half-year absorption rates are too low, especially under the development vote, and stands at 5% of the total development allocation as of today. 7, that the on-source revenue target for the next financial year of 2023-2024 is 2.08 billion. 8, that the budget documents were not submitted on time as required by law. Honorable Speaker, the 2023 County Fiscal Strategy Paper provides an all-inclusive state of the county, enabling the Budget and Appropriations Committee to properly scrutinize the proposed ceilings and draw proper recommendations. Some of the guiding areas include the criteria for resource sharing, half-year departmental expenditures absorption rates, trends, views of the CSM, finance and CRA recommendations on ceiling, views from sectoral committees and public participation, pending bills and county own source revenues. The committee therefore recommends as follows. 1, that climate change program should be under environment and natural resources, which is the main program and not vice versa. 2, The Budget and Appropriations Committee recommends that the moved programs should be transferred with their respective cost components, that is, operations and maintenance, staff emoluments, to where they are currently domiciled. 3. The committee recommends prioritization of the programs which impact directly to wananchi, such as water, education, health, roads, agriculture, and energy. 4. The county treasury should come up with the mitigation measures to control the wage bill, which now stands at 51% against a set limit of 35% of the total revenue as per Section 107 of PFM Act of 2012, read together with Regulation 25, Suborder 1B of the PFM Regulations of 2015. 5. That the Pending Bills Task Force finalizes its report to enable the county clear the eligible pending bills, because some bills may lead to accumulation of penalties on the amounts due, causing strain on the budget. 6. That the procurement processes under the development budget should be initiated in good time to facilitate timely completion and payment of the projects. This will also aid in addressing the issue of pending bills, as projects will be executed and paid for in the financial year in which they were initially budgeted for. 7. That the county should keep on increasing the budgetary provisions for development budget estimates, as this will lead to more and better services to the people. The committee recommends that the projected ceilings should greatly guide the preparation of this fiscal year 2023-2024 budget estimates. 8. That there are some key sub-programs not allocated budget in the proposed ceilings. For example, the Departments of Agriculture, Environment, Lands, among others. The committee, in recommending the ceiling, considered this fact and provided for some funds. 9. That strategies be put in place to realize the on-source revenue target, as it has been on a declining trend of the previous years. 10. That the county treasury adheres to the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget calendar. Honorable Speaker, the committee wishes to thank the office of the Speaker and that of the clerk for the support extended to them by facilitating it to fulfill its mandate. I wish to acknowledge the honorable members of the committee for their time, as well as ideas in the meetings and in preparation of this report. Our sincere gratitude is extended to the county treasury for being part of this critical process of preparing and reviewing the fiscal year 2023-2024 county fiscal strategy paper. It is therefore my pleasant undertaking on behalf of the Budget and Appropriations Committee to table this report and recommend it to the House for adoption. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now wish to invite members to debate this motion. Members, it is your turn. Brian Kisila, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to thank the chairman and the entire budget committee and this house for taking this exercise with the seriousness it deserves. Members, you realize that budget ceilings forms the foundation of any budget making process. If we don't crack the ceilings at this stage, it means in the budget making process, we cannot deviate above 1%. Madam Speaker, we did justice to this document. We prioritized our ceilings based on what the public told us. And this, although we wanted more money for water, but sometimes it's give and take. I'm sure the chairman and his committee had to balance a few numbers here and there. Madam Speaker, if we keep the money we have allocated for water and the water committee in this house looks at radically ensuring that what we have given, which I'm a member by the way, goes down to wananchi, I can assure you 100% of the members who are here will come back. Madam Speaker, before I sit down, there is a lot of concern on two items. One, we have a serious wage bill. If we are not serious about the wage bill, because wage bill has been a big issue even in the second assembly, we will eat a lot of development money. Madam Speaker, I'm calling upon this House to radically look at the wage bill so that we keep strictly within the guidelines which you have been given. And money for development should not be touched by recurrent. Madam Speaker, number two is, and I'll be seeking a statement on the same, is on internal revenue. We are not doing justice to that department. There is the money which is being collected is actually 50% of our potential. I am calling upon this House to ensure that we put proper controls so that we can generate enough money. Members realize any money collected for own source revenue goes directly to development. So the more we get interested in collecting more funds, then the more money we get for development. Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Point of information, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think it is always good we put things correct, because maybe later some of the things that we say here might be taken or taken as the correct position. The position is money left after spending recurrent monies. That is the money that goes to development. It is not wholly that all money collected from one source is the only money that goes to development. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker,
Proceed.
I'm well guided, but I have the point I was driving is that money is collected through on-source revenue directly impacts on our development. That's a fact. That is a fact. And the more we start making sure that the county collects money which is out there, and we seal all the loopholes, the better for us. Madam Speaker, my last point is I would like to thank the interests members have given this task. We were in Nairobi on Friday, and I can see a lot of interest in what will impact directly on Mwananchi. Let us ensure that the executive delivers the service, and by doing so, those of us who are elected, for sure, will get back here. And that, to me, that's the most important part. Let us do our oversight role. Let us ensure the monies we are given departments, especially those 5, water, education, health, roads, agriculture, and energy, that the committees who are charged with that responsibility oversight these departments to ensure they deliver. Madam Speaker, together with the Deputy Speaker, will be bringing some amendments to our standing orders so that moving forward, CECs come to this assembly and defend what they are doing. In the past, Madam Speaker, we normally vet CECs, but they stand behind. Moving forward, we want these CECs, especially on these 5 critical sectors which impact directly on us, come here through the committee of the entire House, and everybody goes, interrogates their areas one by one. So I'm sure members will support that motion so that we can be able to succeed. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Brian Kisila. Thank you very much. I really want to personally support what you've just said. The last bit, something Honorable Mheshimiwa Ngunga had actually come to see me about, and we had a discussion. We have to put, to make oversight properly by calling or summoning those CECs to come before us and we make the interrogations and let's do our oversight properly in the right way, and then have matters done in the right way. Implementation will take place if we go the way we are going. May I call Mheshimiwa Ngunga perhaps to say something.
Thank
Honorable Ndeti to follow, Honorable Kavyu to follow.
Thank you, Madam. I want to also appreciate the good work that has been done by the committee, the budget committee led by a very experienced schoolmate of mine, Honorable Ndambuki. I think, Madam Speaker, looking at these ceilings, I think this is a document that has been seriously canvassed, and I'm sure the whole House is aware that I think this is a product of a lot of consultation. If Madam Speaker, the House allows, we can maybe say 2 or 3 words about it, and then we agree, because I'm sure every member here is privy to what is ahead of us. And I think these are actually ceilings that we are privy to. And Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the good work and the guidance that the committee has been able to give to this House in terms of aligning these ceilings so that at least the county government functions as they are supposed to function. I take note on the little variations that have taken place, minimum of variations that are there, and where these variations have taken place, they have taken place for the good of the county. And I think, therefore, Madam Speaker, if the House allows maybe 2 or 3 statements, and I think we'll be winding up, because this is a document that we all know. These are ceilings that we are aware. This is a document that has been canvassed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mheshimiwa Ndeti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority and Felix.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to congratulate the committee on our budget, and also to congratulate all the members who sat or burnt midnight oil last Friday. If they didn't sit from morning up to evening, this document would not have been as good as it is. I've seen that you have taken care of most of the most important areas in our county, starting with water. Water and women are inseparable. So as a woman and as a leader of the Women Caucus, I'm very happy. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndeti. Honorable Kavyu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First is to congratulate the budget team for the good work that they have done. And secondly, it's just to encourage the assembly. The estimates that we have here, this one provides a good foundation for us to perform the oversight role. And my contribution was to encourage the House and probably the budget team to take a lead so that the members of this House can be adequately taken through, so that apart from now the ceilings, members can understand properly what needs to be done, how needs to be done, so that especially on the development side, what is intended can be realized. So we expect to have more reviews on this, and even as a House we can have quarterly reviews to monitor and track how the budget that has been allocated is being spent. That will help, one, to curb the issues of cases of where at the end of the financial year we having cases of incurring huge pending bills, and also will also help to monitor and also to explore opportunities where we can increase revenue in terms of on-source revenue. So it's a good job done, and I support the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd want to congratulate the committee led by the Obo student of Father House. Or colleague. Contemporaries. For the work well done with the setting budget ceilings. I take note of the deliberate way you set ceiling for very important departments like health, transport, and water and irrigation. And I also take note that the absorption rate of some of these departments going by previous budget is very low, and we run at the risk of not having the capacity from the executive side. So even as we set the ceiling, we need to make sure that the departments are enhanced capacity-wise to absorb the monies. When I look at the Ministry of Water, their current, the proposed was 568, and I think there is an additional 250 million. And then the next question would want to ask is, do they have the capacity? Our desire would be very good that we have as much amount of money in our wards to take care of water projects. But as legislatures, I don't know whether we go to the ground to do the real work. We leave it to the executive side. And we maybe, I'm not saying that we change this figure, I'm saying maybe we make sure the capacity on the other side is good enough to absorb the finances, so that we don't just set a high ceiling and then the money is lost. I want also to take cognizance and also applaud the chairman of devolution within our assembly, because he's very consistent. His budget was 66 million and nobody dared interfered with it. It remained as 66 million. But I have engaged him and he told me there are two upcoming municipalities. The municipality of Kadhiani, municipality of Matu, and of course the municipality of Mwala. So I think you dare not touch that money. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I had identified, yes. Honorable Felix, proceed. Then
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable follows, then Maeke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Felix Ngoi, the People's Choice for Katangi. Madam Speaker, as I applaud the Chairman on budget and his team, my eye has been drawn to two issues. And I would want to thank the Chairman and the team, and of course the whole House, for seeing it important to set good ceilings for our core departments within the county. That is the Department of Health, Department of Roads, and the Department of Education. Madam Speaker, it is good to note that in future, maybe we would need to look on the Department of Agriculture, because the biggest challenge that our people are facing right now, it is on food security. So I can see that we have a ceiling of around 340 million, which I think to me is not enough, but my suggestion is that during the next budget, then we can look on the Department of Agriculture, maybe to put a good ceiling, so that we can secure our people from the challenges they are facing at the moment. Secondly, my attention has been drawn to the low absorption of the budget 2022-2023. That is at 5%. I would wish to urge our county executive committee members to move with speed and make sure that our people get development on ground. Because at 5%, it seems to be so low, and right now as we talk is on the month of March. We have only 3 months remaining for the financial year 2022-2023. So it is good for them to do something on the absorption rate on development. And maybe to finish, it must go on record that we have been having problems in Machakos County concerning the budget ceilings. And that is why we have very big pending bills within Machakos County, because various departments have been working over and above their ceilings. We have to give a warning as a house that now the departments must now work within their ceilings. And this house is going to be very serious on that matter. And we are dealing with the quarterly reports. And we find that departments have committed projects which are not within the budget. Such people will be liable and will be held into account and face the necessary consequences that they are supposed to face. So, Madam Speaker, I support this report, and I applaud the committee together with the chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Mulinge. Then Honorable Mike.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first I would like to thank the committee for the budget. They have come up with a well-thought budget that has taken consideration of the public when we were doing public participation, and also the input of the House. Madam Speaker, we have
point of information, Madam Speaker. Just want to inform the member.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you,
Member,
Madam Speaker.
You may be seated.
You may be seated. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I want to encourage my brother, Honorable Mulinge. I think today he has a lot of vigor. But I wanted to correct him and tell him that we are dealing with the county fiscal strategy paper. The budget will be coming later, Mashima.
Okay. Point taken. Mheshimiwa, proceed. Mheshimiwa Mulinge.
Well, I was saying it is a well-thought budget. Ceiling, Because there is a quote by Adam Smith which says this: everything is what the purchaser will pay. I will say the ceilings we have, I will say they are budget problem solving tool. When I went through the departments on the resources allocated to every department, the first 5 departments, Department of Health, Department of Water, and Department of Agriculture, they are touching the problems, the public, the lack of water, and that's why we have corona in our area, lack of food. Lack of food. And you'll see in irrigation, in water and irrigation, the department has reaped big.
Yes.
So I support the ceilings we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The very good contribution there. Honorable Honorable Maeke, then Honorable Katiti. And Honorable Katiti, you will sum up everything.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Oh, sorry.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the Budget Committee and specifically the Chair for the good work they've done before this House. As the Honorable Member Mwala has put it, we went for public participation. And at last, the money that the county assembly is spending on us and the government is spending on us is seeing the light of the day in utilization. We've seen prioritization of development in our wards. And I know there has been an history that the health departments gets a lot of the big chunk, as we had seen before. But you're going to understand, if people eat healthy, they not go to hospitals. Some of these problems we have are created because of lack of water. The agriculture sector that Honorable Katangi 001 is speaking about the basic needs before agriculture is put to place is water. We may have tractors, we may have good mechanization, we may go to precision agriculture, but without water, it will be just effort in futility. I'm drawn to the point and the recommendation of the HEBO Committee of Budgets that we have a ceiling of 35% in terms of wage bill. And as you speak, Madam Speaker, we have been, for the first few weeks, the same county executive has been advertising jobs, ranging from up even to over 700 job vacancies. And as a county assembly, we are here complaining about the wage bill. I'm trying to imagine if this trade is allowed. Probably our wage bill may even go up to 60 at the expense of development. My prayer that we seek the intervention of the Speaker, probably to direct the appointment committee, because we are crying and saying we don't have money as a county. We've heard and we have seen also that there was a committee which was set up to look into the issue of ghost workers. And we were so happy because we knew by the end of the day, probably there were ghost workers, as it was alluded. Up to now, I believe taxpayers' money was used. We haven't received the report, and that task force probably is just somewhere with the information. So my prayer is, let us as a house come up with the mechanisms. And I'm going to also agree with the Honorable Katangi, what he has said. We may be quick to give departments a lot of money and allocate them. And thank you.
Madam Speaker, we don't have Honorable Katangi in this house. And the Honorable Member tell us who that is.
Thank you. Honorable Felix Ngoi, the People's Choice from Katangi. Thank you, Honorable Member, for that information. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this in regard to the Water Department. We've had a lot of stalled projects. We've had a lot of projects that have been done. For example, I was looking into one report of Kimutwa Bohol. From the department, the report says that the bore is 93 meters and the water intake is at 90. When we were repairing it, the water intake is at 50. Definitely that bore is going to dry up. Something needs to be looked into, especially as we give the water department money, so that we don't give them money and then they don't give us a value for the taxpayers' money. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support that motion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Insofar as issues concerning wage bill, there is a recommendation in this particular report that says that the committee recommended that there should be mitigating measures to control the wage bill to 35%. It is at 51%. So I think if these reports are implemented, we'll get there. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Katiti, proceed and make your contributions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Boniface Katiti, representing the great people of Mudadeni Ward. Mine is just to talk about the departments that I'm a member to. And one is about youth and sports. Madam Speaker, if you want to see the future, you must see it in our children. So the budget here, the proposed budget was almost at 213 million, but it has been sliced down to 106 million and some thousands there. So I do encourage in next year, so that we can, if we want to empower the youth and the women, who are the core people in our count, we need to support to increase that amount, even to a tune of 213. That was proposed by the Treasury. The other thing is, the other departments about water and irrigation. When we were in committee and when we were interrogating the chief officers in environment and climate change, they were telling us there are no funding bills because those departments maybe were not there in the last regime. So I want to request that now that we have added almost 250 million to water and irrigation and environment and climate, that some committees or departments, that's environment and climate change, may be apportioned some percentage so that they can have the independence of doing their work. The other thing I want to applaud and I'd like to applaud the chairman and the committee on budget, because you have seen it right that the climate change should be subordinate to water and resources, to climate and to environment and resources, because this time every talk in the town or in this country is about the climate change. But we should agree that what climate change is subordinate to environment and natural resources. So the other thing is about the chairman. He has taught us we want to build the ECD centers. 2, I want to expand a little bit. We should build 2 classes in every ward per year, so that at the end of 5 years, in every ward can have the ECD centers at about 10. So I support the document.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. On the issue of reduction of ceilings for the youth and sports and gender welfare, I'm sure the chairman has supported justification for the reduction, and maybe during his reply he can just comment on it. Lastly and not least, Honorable Diaz, and you'll sum up this debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Stephen Mwande, representing the great people of Ekalakala. Honorable Speaker, as a member of the Budget Committee, I'll say that as members we've done our best to this document. But there are things that I think we need to ask ourselves also as we give these departments these monies. Madam Speaker, in the month of January 6th, we passed a supplementary budget here in this Honorable House. And today, it's 2 months down the line, but some of these departments have never, and even are not showing any signs of advertising any projects on the ground. We are in the month of March today, and we only have 2 more months for this financial year. Yet, we passed the supplementary budget hoping that we'll see projects happening in our wards. And I've just said, we've never seen projects happening in some of the departments. I believe up to date, only 2 departments have shown I've already advertised some projects on the ground. So the question is, when we give some of these departments such chunks of money, are we again aware that we might end up again supplementing all these monies to another departments that ought to have done something to our people? Giving an example to that Department of Youth and Sports. As members, we still have interest in sports, and we have our youth whom we expect to nurture. It is just last week when we had our youths from Kwadhanse going to Morocco. And we need also to support those youths in nurturing their talents. And when we prepare such budgets and kill those departments, yes, we might need a lot of water in our wards, but we can balance all things and see them, these monies, and see our county moving in all directions. let us also be careful, especially when we are dealing with the recurrent expenditures, because in most cases, recurrent funds always goes to salaries, Madam Speaker. And as a county, we'll have a motion here. We'll have a motion here from some of us insisting or requesting for the county government employees probably to be upgraded their positions. And when we change these, yet we are not in those departments, especially on the area of issue of recurrent expenditures. What drives us at that, Madam Speaker? We need to ask ourselves such questions, because in our second assembly we were here, and sometimes we end such similar budgets. When we deal with recurrent expenditure, we need to ask ourselves serious questions and be sure when you are changing this recurrent expenditure from a department to the other, what are the implications? Because we might find that a certain department will not be able to pay its employees, and we expect that department to perform. So those are some areas that we need to check on. Let us always balance our budgets to fit all the departments. We had all the departments here with us and gave the CEOs and CECs the mandate to perform, to undertake their projects on the ground. And we'll be asked by our youth, those youths on the ground, what do you have for us to nurture our talents or maybe to support them in their programs? We will be asked. I can tell on the health sector we are okay. But some departments have been so much pressed. We'll also need to give our farmers some farming equipment, some trainings and such like things. So if we'll be balancing our budgets, I believe we can do well. Otherwise, I support the document. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Diaz. May I call upon Honorable Dominic Ndambuki? Okay. Proceed and make your contribution.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Francis Kitaka, representing Dalani. I just want to echo some of the sentiments that the Deputy Speaker has mentioned. And critically, I'm emphasizing on the Department of Finance, where I chair. We are all fighting and saying that we need to collect more money on own source revenue. But again, we have to facilitate the department. That is the truth. So, looking at the document, you will find that the proposed amount was slashed by around 52 million. And yet, we need to move up and above the 1.6 billion that we've been looking at. So, members, it is of critical to consider funding this department, because we will also be questioning the CCM finance, whether he has achieved the 2.0 billion. We want to move this figure to above 2 billion, but we cannot do it when we are not facilitating this department. So I call upon members that we consider the key departments that are of help so that we can achieve our goals. However, we have considered water and all other departments that we've put money. But again, on the matters of absorption, like now, we have very little time before the financial year 2022-2023 ends. What are these departments doing to absorb the monies that we put in the supplementary budget? Because if we'll reach a point whereby we are calling out for some tenders to be done, but they will not be paid because the time will have lapsed. So we need also, honorable members, to put all these things and balance them so that at least we can move in the right direction. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
Please allow me, Madam Speaker. I just want some information from the chairman. budget.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Please, just
Kindly, point of order, Madam Speaker.
I just wanted some.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Proceed with the point of order.
Madam Speaker, I think it's a norm for the House. In fact, and if at all we are ready to follow the law and the way it's supposed to be, when a member finishes submitting, you cannot stand on a point of order over the same. So let's check on that. And I believe my honourable member here is.
Point of order.
Point of information, Madam Speaker. Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Point
On the same strength, Madam Speaker, I think again, even when debates are in this House, Madam Speaker, I think it's also prudent that we also observe our standing orders. It says, if a member has spoken on an issue, if a member has spoken on an issue, then that member may not raise to discuss on the same issue.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. Let's adhere to the our standing orders. If you have spoken, you don't speak again. Thank you. So can I proceed and conclude? Request. Proceed and respond.
Thank you,
reply.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
I take cognizance of remarks made by honorable members and their passionate contribution. I would like to clarify on the matter that Honorable Kisila and Honorable Kitaka draws to address,
And
especially
Honorable
on
Katiti.
Recurrent budget, especially on the Department of Finance, Economic Planning and Revenue Management. Madam Speaker, in arriving at these figures, the committee considered the actual absorption rates for the previous budgets in the 3 consecutive years, and we gave an increment on those figures of 5% adjustment, annual adjustment. So we are within the absorption rates, and we have given, the committee has given a 5% increment of that figure. So honorable members, on the issues of personnel emoluments, operations and maintenance, the committee has factored that for each department. Honorable Speaker, of essence to the executive is on absorption rate, especially on the development monies. For on the ceilings that the House will adopt, that the House has given, and the House, I believe that the House is going to adopt, it's my plea that executive adheres to the ceilings and ensures that they improve on the absorption rate, so that, Madam Speaker, at the end of each financial year, the current the financial year of 2023-2024, we do not see monies that have not been spent and are returned back to the county revenue fund and not spent under development, but allocated to other things. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023-2024. As many are of the opinion, say ayes. Aye. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. The House adjourns to Wednesday, 15th March 2023 at 10 a.m.